Let us explore a framework for commercialization. The best way to approach this is to see what are the problems in infrastructure development if it is in the hands of government. Firstly, there are issues of asset creation. Then, once an asset is created, there are issues of asset maintenance. And finally, once we have an asset, then we need to have an appropriate service on the asset, which finally makes the infrastructure go to the user. So there needs to be service delivery, efficiency and effectiveness. Service delivery, efficiency and effectiveness. The premise is that because of incentive compatibility issues, that government on its own, especially in contexts like India, are not always the best in asset creation, asset maintenance or service delivery efficiency and effectiveness. And this is where we get bottlenecks in infrastructure. So we need to address these. These three aspects of infrastructure is often where the problems are due to lack of appropriate incentive compatibility when government has to develop infrastructure. So let's see, what do we need to do? Well, we need to improve asset creation efficiency. We need to improve asset maintenance efficiency, and we need to improve service delivery efficiency and effectiveness. Let's take examples. Asset creation efficiency. So if we take a railway line, from the time we decide that a railway line needs to come up in a place, how long does it really take as a project for the railway line to finally reach a stage of becoming fully operational? Very often we could get stuck with land acquisition issues, we could get stuck with project management issues, insufficiency of funds flow, or because of change of leadership, either at the political level or at the project level, that priorities change. So all this leads to the asset creation efficiency being not good or not as good as it ought to be. So we need to be able to improve that. Moving on to asset maintenance. Examples very often, roads. How often is it that we build maybe what appears to be a good road, but almost within the first monsoon or second monsoon, the road starts breaking up? Maybe the inherent quality below the surface of the road has not been as good, or maybe the maintenance support is not as good. And so, once a pothole comes in a road and as traffic continues to go on it, the pothole becomes wider, the road breakages happen, and it's not good infrastructure. So again, we need ways by which we can improve the asset maintenance efficiency. Going on to service delivery, I would again take the example of roads. Of course, at one level, the roads, there must be service for the road user. Now, when government has been taking the responsibility of building and maintaining roads, they have not necessarily viewed the road user as a customer. It was as if I have created this asset and, well, I'll maintain it. And it's now, you are a user and you are in a sense on your own. But actually, a road user would require many services. There could be a breakdown, in which case the road user needs support. Road user may want to stop off at appropriate times to have a meal, to eat something. Are there reasonable restaurants, reasonable eateries? I might need fuel. Are there reasonable petrol pumps located? Are there, if there is an accident, then do we have proper support that can reach the accident spot immediately? So the question is, who takes care of all this? Of course, in a road built otherwise, many times independent entities come and set up these things, but not necessarily in an organized way. So there is need to not only create a road, maintain a road, but also to look at these service aspects around a road so that the road user is made to travel in as comfortable a way as possible. So it is these three aspects that actually deter good infrastructure. Now let's see why these things happen. We said incentive compatibility. I would break this up into three aspects. One is stakeholding. What is the level of stakeholding that the infrastructure developer has in that infrastructure? The second is accountability. Do we have the right systems and processes to ensure that the infrastructure developer feels accountable to the users of that infrastructure? And a third aspect is that of autonomy. Does the infrastructure developer feel that they have sufficient autonomy to actually see what is it that the user wants and build that into the creation, the maintenance, and the service delivery? In a way, these three dimensions have a role in the three aspects of asset creation, maintenance, and service delivery, because if these are not fully provided to the infrastructure developer, we have a concern. Typically, government executives, because of a variety of requirements that government has to fulfill, appropriate stakeholding or appropriate accountability or appropriate autonomy may not be there. And that, in a sense, is the whole issue of incentive compatibility. So what we need to do now is to see how can we address these concerns, what structures can address these concerns.